Hi, and welcome back to the Food Fund. In this video, we will be recapping the portfolio performance for the month of December and the full year 2025. I made some huge changes to the portfolio, so be sure to watch through the end of the video. Let's jump right in. Cue the logo. Let's start off with the market's performance. For the month of December, the S&P 500 gained about 0.1%. The market also hit a new all-time high. When we look at the companies that make up the S&P 500, we can see that tech had mixed results. Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, and Alphabet fell, while Nvidia and Meta gained. Over in our corner of the market, consumer packaged food, farm products, confectionery, and non-alcoholic beverage companies all fell. Alcoholic beverage and restaurant companies gained. Okay, let's move on to the portfolio performance. I deposited $100 into the account on December 1st, 2025, and at the end of the month, the portfolio balance was $1,704.14. This means the portfolio gained $3.65 for the month, representing a 0.2% gain for December. Finally, a winning month. Given the S&P 500's 0.6% total return, we actually lost only 0.4 percentage points of alpha by following our strategy and not being invested in the S&P 500 this month. Though we are still trailing the market, we are trailing by much less this month. Looking at our performance chart versus the S&P 500, we see that the gap between our performance and the market is at the widest level yet. Still, many of the changes I made to the portfolio have yet to take effect, so I am excited to see what the new year brings. Since inception, the portfolio has had a minus 6.7% CAGR on a money-weighted basis, while the CAGR on a time-weighted basis was minus 3.6%. Given the S&P 500's 16% CAGR, the portfolio trails the S&P 500 by a ridiculous 22.7 percentage point CAGR since inception. Very tough times right now, but we have to keep pushing forward. Let's take a look at the portfolio holdings. Before we jump to that, please click the like button and let YouTube know that you like the content. Subscribe and click the notification bell to make sure you catch the latest videos. Your continued support means so much to the Food Fund. Also, don't forget to turn on your notifications if you are watching on a mobile device. Okay. So Celsius is back up to being my largest holding. With 5.54 shares at a cost basis of $29.15, this position is up 56.9%. Celsius makes up 14.9% of the portfolio. Since I tax loss harvested from this position last month, Celsius has gained a bit. While I would love to add to it, I am content to wait with the 15% waiting for better opportunities. Next, we have Pepsi. Pepsi is my number 2 holding with 1.6 shares at a cost basis of $134.48. This position is up 6.7%. Pepsi makes up 13.5% of the portfolio. Given that I tax loss harvested from several positions across the portfolio, I'm not entirely sure how to refer to the position performance. Still, by using the remaining cost basis, Pepsi is in the black. Happy to hold here as I really don't want to add to this slow-growing but steady company. Now we have a new holding, Luckin Coffee. Luckin Coffee is my number 3 holding, with 4 shares at a cost basis of $35.28. This position is down exactly 5%. Luckin Coffee makes up 7.9% of the portfolio. After selling completely out of Chaji, which we will dive more into later, I invested those funds into Luckin Coffee. I am making a dedicated stock analysis video for Luckin, but long story short, I wanted exposure to China's growing beverage restaurant economy, and it turns out that Luckin Coffee was a much better company than Chaji. Next, Wingstop. Wingstop is my number 4 holding with 0.37 shares at a cost basis of $236.60. This position is up 0.8% and makes up 5.2% of the portfolio. Wingstop is another holding I tax loss harvested from, substantially reducing my cost basis. I would love to add more to this position and plan to do so once I can. Now we have Chipotle, the beleaguered Mexican restaurant. It is my number 5 holding with 1.49 shares at a cost basis of $30.90. This position is up 19.7%. Chipotle makes up just 3.2% of the portfolio now. Again, I tax loss harvested from Chipotle and have been waiting to buy back in. I have a feeling that Q4 earnings release will provide a great opportunity. Texas Roadhouse is now my number 6 holding. with 0.21 shares at a cost basis of $162.58. This position is up 2.1% and makes up 2.1% of the portfolio. Texas Roadhouse is another holding I tax loss harvested from and will look to rebuild this position with a closer eye on valuation. Rounding up the stock holdings, we have Dutch Bros. Dutch Bros is my number 7 holding with 0.53 shares at a cost basis of $37.73. This position is up 62.3%. Dutch Bros makes up a tiny 1.9% of the portfolio. This is the only position I was unable to tax loss harvest from, and it is at the top of my list to add to. As you might have noticed, my portfolio is much more concentrated, down to just 7 holdings. I took advantage of the opportunity to sell out of some losing holdings and reposition for the new year. I sold out of Kava. Kava is a company I bought into heavily after a post-earnings drawdown while the valuation was still too rich. While I believe that the total addressable market for Kava is a fraction of that for Chipotle, Kava is still growing market share and is one of the only restaurant companies with positive same-store sales. If the share price gets to an appealing level, one would definitely consider buying back in. Last, let's look at the cash position. Bulked up by the proceeds from my position sales, the cash position is now $874.62. I will be looking to put this cash to work as soon as possible. As we enter into a new year, many challenges await. More regulatory uncertainty makes it hard to predict future revenues. Still, people have to eat and will spend money to do so. I plan to use that food spend data as a guide for selecting high-quality food, beverage, and restaurant stocks. I hope you will follow along with me on this journey. Many thanks for watching. What do you think about the portfolio? Share your thoughts below. It is always great to hear from you. Check out some more videos right now, and don't forget to put your money where your mouth is.